So most of my regular viewers know that about a year or so ago we built this 20-foot flatbed trailer. Really like it. It's a pretty heavy-duty trailer. We got a pair of 7,000-pound axles, steel deck. I built it mainly for hauling steel and stuff for the shop. But one thing I don't really care for about it is when it's empty, sometimes around 30-40 miles an hour or so, it gets kind of bouncy. I was talking to a mechanic friend of mine and he's like, well, you know, if it only does that at those certain speeds and only when it's empty, it's probably just a matter of nothing that a couple of shock absorbers couldn't fix. So that's what we're going to be working on today. So the plan is pretty simple. These are some shock absorbers I bought. They're made for an F4 or F550 truck. So, you know, we want something that's designed to handle and process a lot of weight and force like there is on load-bearing axles on a trailer here. And the plan is pretty simple. Basically, at one end, we've got to build some brackets, which are going to mount up against the frame of the trailer. And then on the other end, we've got these brackets which go over the axles on the trailer. And so hopefully these shock absorbers will give us a little bit more stabilizing power. So let's get these things finished up and ready to install. So now that we've got that bracket tacked on, what we need to do is take this end and shove it inwards a little bit, because otherwise if this axle were to drop down, if we hit a pothole or something, obviously this is how the trailer normally rests when it's empty, but if we hit a pothole or something and the whole axle goes down, it could rip the shock apart, which would be bad. So we're going to push this in a little bit, which I can't really do sitting on a creeper. Yeah, about there should be good. Make sure everything's in line. Let's tack this up. A little tricky to get going through the paint that's on this axle, but we made it work. Cool. Now I'm welding this with some 3/32 inch 7018 at about 90 amps, and the reason for this is because obviously we want a stick welding process on this because we got some paint, we got some rust, we got some road sludge and some dirt down here to contend with. So this is nice for that. And as a lot of you guys know, a smaller stick electrode like the 3/32 inch variety, it produces a slightly smaller puddle, which is much easier to control if you're welding out of position like we are. And so it's nice for that because I'm a little out of practice with my 1/8 inch vertical structural welds. I haven't done those in like 48 hours now since the last customer project. But where I was going with this is these low hydrogen 7018s, they produce welds that are very ductile, they're very durable, they're going to be great for being smashed and jarred around down here quite a bit, and pretty optimistic about this. Away we go! Test drive time! Here we go. So this trailer rides exponentially smoother. So we're firmly over the speed at which it used to vibrate. There is absolutely nothing. So a big shout out to my buddy Steve, the mechanic, because, you know, when I talked to him about this, you know, first I was worried we had a bent axle or a defective wheel or something. And he's like, no man, it's probably just an issue of those springs. They can't, you know, equalize or stabilize or whatever he said at that exact speed range. And if you put shocks down there, it'll probably fix it. And it actually did! This is everything that I hoped it would be and more.